My doggo wants to play outside. Hello, puppy. Hi. You want to come sit with me while I make a video? Okay, I have my dog. Anyway, so someone recently asked me if I could like show them how I animate basically. So I'm hoping that this video isn't like extremely long. I'll probably cut a lot of it out, but I'll show the basics of how I animate. So yeah, and also I'm sorry this took me so long to make or to get to making, but I have just been a little bit unmotivated, as some would say, and you're going to be hearing clicking on my mouse a lot. That's probably going to get annoying. But anyway, yeah, as you've seen, I clicked File, New, and this is what I usually use because it's the like basic size of YouTube things, the majiggers. I think it's the size of the YouTube banner, but like whatever, it's the size that I use. Press OK, and now I have two open. So basically, you see how there's a layer over here. You choose whatever you want. You kind of have to finagle with these settings yourself, the brush control, color, and the brushes. I like to use pen at like level 10 at least, and then I draw whatever I need to draw. Yes, I'm gonna draw a little smiley face dude right here. So to animate this, I'm just gonna click another layer. Oh yeah, don't forget view, then onion skin mode. So it's going to be pretty much there's nothing here, and you can either do this one of two ways. You can redraw this little dude. My dog's slurping her water. Or you can go back to this one, click this button, and it will make the same thing. And then to make it look like it's edited, you can transform it. And then just continue on from there depending on what you're making. Then I'll show you how to view your animation so far. You go to view and then to autoplay, and it will show you what you have so far. I mean, whichever process you use out of these two really depends on what you're animating. So if you're animating a person like I do most of the time, I say this is the person. This is what I do. So this is my person right here. I'm going to copy the layers, and then I'm going to take the erase and say I want their arm to move. I'm going to erase their arm. That little red spot shows me where the arm was, but I'm just going to put the little arm right there now. And so if I continue to do this process, it takes a lot of work, but not as much as drawing the whole thing over again. You do that. When you click view and autoplay, your little dude's going to be waving as long as you get rid of those smiley face dudes that are scary as heck. I mean, I'm sorry this is kind of like a really quick thing, but I don't want to take forever to show you what I'm doing. So that is how you do your animation. I hope that's understandable. I'm sorry if it's not. Once you have done all of your animating, you click export layers, onion skin mode. I suggest making a folder that's empty for your stuff to go into, but I didn't do this beforehand, so I'm going to export that to, say you had your folder there. You're just going to click your folder and export all your frames into there and click select folder. Yes, you want to make the background transparent, and if you want to make a GIF out of it, click yes. If not, obviously click no, and then let's move on over to Krita. Okay, now we have Krita open. Assuming that you followed my last video on how to open FFmpeg, Krita will be ready to go for you, and now this gets to the other half of the animating. So you want to make sure that your dimensions are the same as they were on Fire Alpaca, and then you can click create. Then you want to go down to import animation frames and add images. You're going to want to open this in the order that's 01, 0, 0, 01, and 02. And I don't know why these two are black and that one's not. And just hope that it worked out nicely. So all your animation frames will show up right here at the bottom. See, this is the third frame, this is the second frame, and this is the first frame. So I am not going to be putting audio in mind, but if you want to add audio, you click this little button right down here, and you click open audio and find wherever you saved your audio to, and you can basically line up your frames with your audio by, okay, so it's a little bit of a complicated process, but you kind of get used to it. So how I do it is I listen to the audio, and if the part of audio I want it to go to maybe stops at around 3, like you have to be hyper vigilant as what part does this stop at, so that you can have like the most accurate thing that you can. So to copy your frame, to make it 3 frames, you click on it, click this little copy button right here, then click frame 1, copy, frame 2, copy, frame 3, copy. So now all these frames are your first frame. Then you're going to do the same with the rest of them depending on how your audio lines up. It seems like really complicated, but I guess you figure it out as you go. So this is just going to be the 3 frames 3 times, so it's 9 frames long. This video is already super long and I bet boring, but I guess useful to the people that need it. So you want to always leave the play speed at 1, or that will mess things up. Your frames per second is pretty good bet to stay at 24 frames per second, so you have to kind of draw a lot. But I'm going to turn mine down just for the sake of this video to maybe 3 frames per second. So this video is now going to be 3 seconds long, but you got to make sure that you make the ending at whatever ending mine is. See, my little frame is the last frame that is at 9, so I want the end to be at 9 and I want the start to be at 0. So now that your animation is complete, you're going to want to go to File and then Render Animation. Then pretty much do everything you saw in my last video, you know, if this ever loads. And if you didn't see my last video, click this to make sure it's baseline. Make sure you have your FFmpeg and choose where you want your video to be saved to. Save that, and then you can render your video, and then I will insert what it looks like when it's done right here. Okay, I know we're backtracking a little bit. I said I'd insert what it looks like right here, but I just realized I forgot to do something. I forgot to change the settings right here, because as I explained in a comment to one of the people that asked me what's wrong with their Krita, all the settings over here don't carry over to when you're rendering your animation, so you want to make sure that you fix that, so that your video will, you know, turn out all right. And then, yeah, man, I'm gonna see, I just realized that I forgot this crucial thing when I was looking at this video, and it's supposed to be 3 seconds, but as you can see, the length is 1 minute and 12 seconds because I forgot to edit the settings. So I'm gonna name the Stickman 2 and then show you how it turns out.